Good morning, doctor. We are from Group 2 and we will present about the fraud through electronic banking.
For information, electronic banking has become our part of life to purchase something, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the Malaysian Reserve website, fraud cases has increased during the pandemic in 2020. So what is fraud? In general, fraud refers to an unintentionally tricky action to obtain an illegal benefit from someone, while the Black Law Dictionary say that the fraud categorized as an action that twists the truth or hide the reality to incite another to act to his or her burden. All of these situations occur due to the lack of awareness public. So we have studied several relevant law and cases to have a more understanding about the fraud through e-banking. That's all from me. Thank you.
Now I would like to talk about the 2.0 relevant law of fraud by electronic banking. The first act I would like to talk is Consumer Protection Act 1999. It given a greater protection for all the consumers, including financial consumers. Section 10 has talked about the false or misleading representation, which means that all individuals must give the true information about the goods and services. Section 16 has talked about the requiring and obtaining the payment without wanting to provide the goods and services. Section 25 has talked about the punishment and incarcerations who breach the law. And relevant case can be referred in Standard Chartered Bank Malaysia Berhad v Forest Wood Industries Sendirian Berhad. The next is Consumer Computer Crime Act 1997. It is a provision for the crime that regard to the abuse of computer, and the computer can mean computer, smartphone, internet devices, and all online applications such as Lazada, Facebook, Twitter, and so on. The Section 4 has mentioned about the unauthorized access with intended to commit commission of further offense. It is likely to relate to our topic. The punishment will be given to the individual who offends the act. The relevant case can be referred is Bashir Ahmad Maula Sahud Hamid VPP. The third is Digital Signature Act 1997. It provides the provision regulate the use of digital signature and other issues that related with. The Act has authorized the digital signature as legal as Tafid, thumbprint, handwritten signature if all the digital signature have met the requirement under the Act. The Section 27(1) has mentioned about the authority of licensed digital signature certification should only use a trustworthy system.
Next, I will present about the Anti-Money Laundering Act 2001. The Act is a provision for money laundering offence, measure taken to dispute money laundering, and the provision of confiscate property related in or from the crime in money laundering and related matter. The Section 4(1) defines offence of money laundering as anyone who participates in transactions involving the proceeds of unlawful activities. The conviction for money laundering is punishment to be imprisoned for term not more than 15 years and be fined not less than 5 times the total amount value of the illegal gain at the time, or be fined 5 million ringgit, whichever is higher. The relevant case can be seen to Grenada, Malaysia, Sendirian Berhad and others. In Act 627 in Law of Malaysia, Payment System Act 2003 is an act of prescribing the management and administration of payment system, payment instrument, and related matter. The act including the provision that enable the central bank to conduct surveillance activities effectively to achieve the objective of payment system policy, to ensure the payment system is efficient and safe, and the interest of public is safeguarded. The relevant case is the MBI Marketing Company and the MFACE International Company. In Act 658 in the Law of Malaysia, the Electronic Commerce Act 2008 is an act provided legally recognized electronic information in business transactions. Use electronic information to meet legal requirements, supported and facilitated all business transactions through the electronic method and other related methods. In Section 5, electronic methods will be defined as information generated, sent, received or stored electronically, while electronic signature include any characters, letter, symbol, number, sound, and any symbol combined that have been created in electronic form and used by an individual for signing. The relevant case is the KHASIM and Arnold and JIAQI.
I will present on 3.0 type of fraud via electronic banking. First is internet fraud. These fraudsters usually use phishing technique to trick on consumer. For example, this fraudster will send a voluntary message that informing the recipient of some reasonable problem with the account and requiring them to update the personal data. Then, they will use the stolen information to access the victim banking account. Another type of fraud in electronic banking is payment card frauds. Among the most common tactics utilized by the fraudster is scamming. Card scamming often occurs at ATM or petrol stations. When a customer inserts a debit or credit card into a device, the device will then capture and transmit the bank account information stored in the card magnetic stripe of the cardholder to the criminals. Fraudster will then create a fake card slot to make any transaction or even withdraw cash from the cardholder bank account. Next is mobile fraud, or may be referred to as a mobile scam. The fraudster will make a fake call and imitate themselves as a potential lender or interested buyer, will attempt to provide the victim an opportunity to earn money quickly by depositing a check to the account. After that, the fraudster will use the stolen information to deposit a fake check and then request funds to be immediately transferred back to them via money deposit. Next is money transfer fraud. This kind of frauds is normally committed through electronic funds transfer or wire transfer. As we know, many fraudsters today take advantage to commit crimes by stealing money from the victims through wire transfer on the SWIFT networks. This is because once the transfer has been made, the victim will be difficult to reverse it. Lastly, there are other forms of fraud in electronic banking, such as electronic money laundering. As an example, the criminal create a fake website, accept payment through a payment card, and then disguises the profit earned from the illegal activity by transforming payments through a legitimate merchant account. Nowadays, the transaction laundering is not just an easy criminal activity, but it also finances global terrorism, such as US domestic terror agenda.
I will proceed with the case study on the Macau Scam. According to the latest finding by the Commercial Crime Investigation Department, a total of 4,865 investigation papers on the Macau Scam syndicate were opened by the PTRM. There are a few cases involved under the fraud and electronic banking which can be linked to the Macau Scam syndicate. But the most highlighted cases related to our assignment is the case that involved a bank manager which have been incurred loss more than 1.97 million. It was happened on 5 May when the bank manager got a phone call from a female officer saying that she was involved in a fatal hit and run accident. Due to this, the victim has transferred all her saving money to the scammer account. Based on the case, it has been investigated under the section 420 of Penal Code. MACC was frozen 730 account, a cash of 500 million and 23 luxury car and bike that have been suspected to be purchased by the member of syndicate using the proceeds of illegal money.
For conclusion, issues of security are significant barriers to consumer of internet and e-banking activities. International business missions put emphasis on identifying specific goals to secure an e-banking scheme. To protect against various forms of frauds, the security aspect must be considered at all levels of financial organizations. However, there is no existing single approach to identify and avoid all types of attacks on e-banking sites effectively. The protection factor must be to guard against different types of fraud considered by financial organizations at all levels. For recommendation, there are many methods that banks can adopt to prevent fraud in online or e-banking system. So let's see two methods. First method is SMS challenge code. This is used to ensure that a person signs into their cell phones after getting an activation code in their bank accounts registered mobile numbers. Second one is dynamic security skins. Here the user can select an image containing prompts for confidential that will be overlaid on the web forms. Online banks must invest a great deal of work into maintaining the confidentiality of financial information for consumers. That's all from us. Thank you.